What's up, Raider Nation? This is For Life, our Raider story, and this is our take. Do we want to just win, baby? Or are you on the side of just lose, baby? What's good, Raider Nation? Welcome to For Life, our Raider story. This is our take. I'm Spicy Raider Girl here with Omar and my primo Johnny from Nation Most Hated. What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
What up? What up? That's two in a row, Raider Nation. Are we happy about that? Or are we disappointed by the outcome? Are you on team just win, baby, or are you on team just lose, baby? Well, either way, that's our drinking game. If you're playing along with us, either anytime we say that, you better drink, toke, or you better start twerking. Remember, light that torch, hit that like button, subscribe, and join if you want to become a member. So let's just kick it off. There's a lot of chatter out there about should the Raiders have won? Should the Raiders have lost? I just want to start by saying this. I don't, and then I'll go into depth later. They're not trying to tank. They're just not that good. But go ahead, Omar. Which side are you on?
I always want us to win. I'm on the side of this was a very disappointing season. I understand why people are saying tank, but I have to say, if I was Coach AP, I would never try to tank. I'm always trying to win. We're going to be as bad as we are, but we saw how he reacted when he thought guys wasn't making an effort early in the season, and that's all he's ever asked for, even in a losing effort. So I get it, but I always want us to win. I'm always going to root for us. I did get tanking though. Like I say, I get it. I wasn't hating on folks who were saying, "Hey, just tank." They wanted the best pick. I think the only reason, just being transparent, that I wasn't in that completely in the tank category is that I'm not sold on Shedeur or Cam. I'm just not sold on them. So therefore, I think it's a 50-50 grab. So I'm just like, but like I say, I get it. But in my mind, I'm just like, dude, just keep trying to win. I just want to root for my team, win. Hey, draft. You know what I mean? And then draft, because we've had first round picks, high first round picks, and we've seen what happened in the past. So, maybe it's a little PTSD that I have about us drafting. I couldn't be in the tank category, so I'm in the just win. If I have to pick a side.
All right, Omar is just win, baby. Johnny?
Yeah, I'm just win because your franchise quarterback is fate. You can't dictate that, especially by losing on purpose. You just got to let the cards come to you the way they do, and you got to do good with it. Last year, Brock Bowers 13th pick. You're looking at 8 right now, even 6 at sometimes. But you just got to get the best player available. It's always bit us in the back, when we think we're going to get what we need all the time, and it's always the wrong player for that position. You just got to get the best player available, no matter who it is, and just, you have a superstar player that takes over any game, no matter who they play. So you need more of those kind of pieces, as opposed to just, we got this guy, he's going to fit in good with us. We need the need, and doesn't even do anything. Doesn't do anything for us. So, yeah, I'm on that. But I was on the tank. I mean, not because I wanted to lose or anything, but I thought it was just funny, to say we're tanking.
Right. Oh, yeah. The tank jokes. Hey, I was with that.
Ankle. Your whole franchise is going to be based off the fact that you lost hella hard on purpose. You got my franchise quarterback because we lost every game. Anybody can do that anytime they want. They want to lose every game for number one pick. Anyone can do it every year. So why should we be the ones to be that? We're just win, baby. Like, we should not change. And you got to build. I want to get the best player available and build an O-line. That's what I think you have to do.
Yeah, I'm with you. So, Johnny, just win, baby.
Yeah. Definitely. Always just win.
I'm with you. And, I've thought extensively about this. Well, I've always been just win, baby, but I thought extensively about the why it should be. First of all, let's talk about the quote unquote tank thing. They're not tanking. They're just not that good. Tanking insinuates the fact that they're they could win the games, but they're trying not to. These men are trying to win. They're just not that good. So that's why I don't even like the word tanking. To me is just it's cringe anyway. But if you think that's what the Raiders have control over winning or losing or not, that is certainly absurd.
Well, we could have played Ritter. We could have played Ritter. That really would have helped Tank.
That's true. I guess that's true. But here's the thing. Two other reasons. And I'll start with the players. These men are working their asses off every single day. They want to win. You saw the excitement with Jack. You saw the excitement with JPJ. You saw the excitement with AP. These guys want to win. And honestly, it's disrespectful, I think, as fans to sit here and say, you guys go and lose, or we want you to lose, or you should lose, or whatever it is. These guys aren't playing for that. They're not playing for a draft pick. They're playing for a job. They're playing to be starters. They're playing to break records like Brock Bowers, and we're going to get into that later. They don't care about the draft pick. They might not even be on the Raiders next year. Some of them might not even be in the NFL next year. So for them to put their careers on hold for something like that, to me, is absurd. You may want the Raiders to lose. That's crazy to me as a Raiders fan. Like you said, Omar, I always want the Raiders to win.
Yep.
Furthermore, also, like you said, Omar, I'm not sold on these quarterbacks either. It's a 50-50. And in fact, we're going to be in the same boat next year, to your point, Johnny, if they don't improve in other positions, O-line, running game, more weapons, things of that nature. So you're going to tank for Shedeur? We don't even know what that kid can do. And for what? Who's he going to throw to? What weapons does he have? There's not a complete team there. And then when the Raiders don't win next year and Shedeur can't win, look at Caleb Williams out there. It's going to be like, well, we're going to want to fire him too. So, I mean, like, all this is ridiculous to me. The chatter is like, it hurts my brain a little bit. It's hard to even watch. As Raiders fans, we should always be just win, baby. So just win, baby.
And I think on one note, a lot of people get hella emotional, and they feel some kind of way, and then there goes the statements that are made based on those feelings. But let's just think about it, though. AP isn't out the door. Now, there's a high probability that he will be, but just imagine if he isn't and he did do things to tank. What would that do to player morale? What would that do to the culture of the team? And what does that do with the trust going into next season? You know what I mean? You're building a culture. You look at some of these players that we've, due to a lot of injuries that we brought onto the team, and they're playing hard. Chason, that dude is playing lights out right. He's playing his best football right now. You know what I mean? You want to keep that going and potentially re-sign him going into next year, even if AP isn't the coach. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's a lot that goes in, and we all feel this when we go to work. And just think about your own job. If they were doing hella shady shit, you know what I mean? Not worried about the work being done today, but thinking about something else, and you're totally feeling overlooked. Guess what? You know what I mean? Hey, those are jobs. We look at them and they entertain us, but those are jobs. And if you think about it like a job, you got some shitty boss, doing shit to cook the books and all this kind of stuff. How you gonna feel? You ain't finna work. You don't want to work for nothing like that. So I think it's the same thing, man. He's got to be about that same business consistently. And hopefully that trickles down. I can't wait till we talk about the Max thing. I read a little bit about that. So
we're going to get into that.
I think I interpret that a little bit differently than some other people have interpreted. So anyway, but yeah, man, no tank. I mean, the draft is going to come. If Telesco has showed us anything, at least from his first draft, is that we're going to get the best player available at, I think, 8 right now. I also hope that it's the best player available to our greatest need, if he's available, which would be quarterback. But if not, I'm hoping it could be running back, because I like Genty.
I agree with you 100%. I've actually shifted gears a little bit with the must draft quarterback.
Yeah.
Because a quarterback coming into the league, not being developed with a team around him that quite honestly isn't very good, is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
So why not draft, like you're saying, best player for that position? Because we need a lot.
We do. We definitely need a lot. And before we even think about quarterback, hell, even running back, the offensive coordinator, what system? You know what I mean? Hopefully AP has learned. I'm going to base a lot of my conversation on the assumption AP is going to be with us because number one, we're 4-13 right now. And there's 7 other teams with as bad of a record or worse. And I don't believe all their coaches are getting fired. So I see no reason our first-year head coach should get fired. And that's my feeling about it. You know what I mean? It would be very, very rotating door, you know what I mean, if they fire AP.
That's on brand, though. That's on brand. And I disagree with that. I disagree with the firing of AP. We'll talk about that. But let's get into some of these comments here. If you're watching over on Facebook, please join us on YouTube so you can join the conversation. And if you want to join the show, the backstage link is pinned to the top. You can join the show as well. We usually do Monday Night Madness, but tonight we got a little spin on it, but you can still join us. Raider Ryan, salute. Gary is just win, baby. Scotty Waddy, we miss you tonight, buddy. Shout out to you. Spicy Omar, Nation Most Hated. Salute to you. Sacktown, Raider Mike, what's good? Agree. Tanking is not the Raider way. Goldfinger, parallels. Tom Brady is just 1 win, baby. 2. He will get this evaluation right. Hope so. Yeah, we hear that he's gonna have a big role in this. So let's hope. Thank you very much, Gary, for the compliment. I appreciate you. The Spicy, you're absolutely amazing and beautiful, sweetheart. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Wes Craven, what you shaking your head at? Let us know. Let us know if you agree or disagree with us. Mother Moon, just win, baby, always. John Leon, the linebacker from Penn State, if he falls to us. Okay, see, there's other needs, kind of what you were saying there, Omar. Addie, what's good, girl? Hello. Hollywood Raider, what's up? Always up to no good. Yes, agree. You got to give AP at least 1 more year. I think 2. I think 2. I think at least 2, to be honest with you.
I'm all in for more AP, man. We just need to fix it. They know what they did. Anyway, we're going to go more into that because I can go on a little rant.
We're going to go more into that for sure.
I can go on a rant.
Thank you, Sacktown, Raider Mike. That's right. Don't forget to like that torch. Hit that like button and hit that notification button. Sharif, what's good, my friend? Head over to YouTube. Join us on YouTube. He says Raiders players are smiling in the locker room and alleged Raiders fans upset about that. Incredible. I agree, man. These guys were proud of themselves, and we should be proud of them.
Yeah, that's the culture. You know what I mean? Enjoy the win and chase that high of winning. That's what AP's about.
And why not win out? 3 wins going into the offseason? Yeah. Like you were talking about morale and all that type of stuff. You don't want to go out as losers.
Yeah, now hopefully we play spoiler to the fucking Chargers next week, right? Like, right? I'm serious. I am not thinking about the draft position. Like, dude, play spoiler. Shoot. Anyway.
True Raider, what's good? No, you're not late. You're right on time. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. Vic, bad guy, what's good? Everything the team needs, AP needs as well. Ana Diaz, thanks for being a member of this channel. We appreciate you. Evening to you. Big Daddy in the building. Hola, familia. Where would we want to go? Which direction we want to go here? Do you want to pivot into Max, or do we want to give props to Brock first?
Either or. Ladies' choice.
All right, let's give. We always like to start out. There's so much negativity with this team in the nation. Let's start out with giving some props here because we talk about draft picks. We all wanted a quarterback last year. We were shocked, most of us. Omar liked this pick. We were all shocked that the Raiders went this way. But Brock Bowers breaking records, not 1, not 2, but 3 records in a single game. He was holding all kinds of footballs. Right. This is incredible. And he still has 1 game left. What? And imagine what he can do if the Raiders actually land that franchise quarterback.
And for the record, I was happy only after we didn't get Jayden Daniels. Because we didn't pick him, I was happy. And I didn't predict this. I thought he would be gone by that pick. I was shocked that he even slid. And I was like, he's a beast. And then to break what? Ditka's record was 62 years. Is that correct? Somebody.
Yeah, it was very long.
It was hella long. Decades old. Yeah. I couldn't even believe it when they said that. I'm like, really? No one's done that since then? So I think that's it. just extremely incredible. When I said he was a beast, I didn't think he was going. You know what I mean? Like, damn, dude is a straight dog. It's awesome.
And you know what? He did it so silently, did it? He's like a silent killer. Like there wasn't a lot of hoopla and celebration and all this. He just made incredible catches. And then all of a sudden, creeping, you hear all these records about to be broken over the last several weeks. But all the work, a lot of work was done before that. Johnny, what do you think about this? After this pick, we all had a reaction to it, and now look at what this kid's doing.
Yeah, I mean, it just proves everything you need from BPA, right? Best player available. You got this one guy, just a freaking machine, straight weapon out there. And, you know, with nothing around him, no quarterback, offensive line has a lot of problems. And, yeah, like you said, it's been quiet, you know, that big play against the Ravens. That's when he came out of nowhere. And they're always like impact plays. You can't bring him down. He's doing crazy plays and casually going up for it one-handed. You know, like this guy's a problem. So that's why you want to have that same impact, get it at the running back position now, and then build your O-line. And then the rest will fall itself into place, you know. I know some people say the Raiders never drafted a franchise quarterback. They don't do that. So it's like, okay, you know, we just got to wait till our guy drops to us one day. But you got to get the pieces you can get. And then these records with Brock are crazy. But imagine a real quarterback. A real coordinator, at least,
or even a consistent quarterback, right? I mean, there was always Minshew and AOC going back and forth, and then you throw Ritter in there. The potential could have even been greater if one of those quarterbacks, really Minshew or AOC, would have been consistent.
Yeah, you know, just got to get something going here. Got to go after it. You don't just let them here and there. Oh, they totally forget about him. You got to keep hitting that shit unless you got 5 other guys that are just like him. You better go get them.
I mean, it was great to hear coaches saying, now I got a game plan for 98 and 89.
Right.
You're right. I mean, they were saying that like game 6, week 7 or something like that, man. I was like, wow. All right. You know what I mean? It was great. You know, I the only, you know, like Telesco right now is batting 50-50 with me because he should have kept Josh Jacobs, you know what I mean? But he did good on the draft, you know, so let's hope at least, you know what I mean? My expectations isn't very high on free agents, but, you know, hopefully he can repeat a good draft in 25 because this was a great pick. Really, really great pick. So.
Yeah, Omar, you and I kind of talked about this offline a little bit, but, you know, speaking of Josh Jacobs, I wanted him to stay as well. He's doing a great job in Green Bay. But, you know, if you think about it, what would his season be with the Raiders? I mean, the O-line's very different from what he's working with there and what the Raiders have.
Well, I think, too, if you look at yesterday, look at Abdullah yesterday. You know what I mean? I think a part of why I like Jeanty is that vision. And we saw that in Jacobs, too, where he'll bounce it outside. And we needed a lot of that because shit clogged up in the middle a lot. And it just seems like Zeus would just run right into the back of fucking tackles or guards and shit. You know what I mean? Maybe that's just me, but that's what I saw a lot of. I didn't see that. Ooh, that hole isn't open. Oh, let me bounce over here. I didn't see a lot of that. Jeanty does that well, and Jacob does that as well too, is that he'll bounce it. And you know what I mean? And I think that's important, especially when your line isn't that great. And we, you know, and I'm not gonna lie, I was very optimistic in the season. I saw what Zeus did last year, you know what I mean? And maybe that scheme worked better for our O-line. I don't know. One thing we all know, though, our left tackle had injuries, and I think it took him a long time to finally get right, and that hurt us a lot. But still, it would have helped if we had somebody who did have better vision, can bounce it outside, had those quick steps, that quick burst that can make that kind of decision really quick. Jacobs could do it. Jeanty in the draft. You're going to hear me talking about Jeanty a lot.
Yeah.
Because if I was drafting, I'll be finding gold I think we could find gold at quarterback in the second round. I think a lot of guys are going to drop, but maybe we'll talk about that on another show. But yeah, I think we would have done a lot better. He may not have been number 3 like he is right now. I don't know, but we would have done a lot better with Jacobs this season, and we would have won some more games with him. So.
Fair enough. What do we think about, I mean, if we're looking at, we're needing to build, right? We obviously need a running game. We need some O-line help. Really need some more weapons. There's a lot of holes here. What do we think? Do we just maybe stick with AOC for another year? Because it's going to take years for this team to improve. We have Arch Manning coming out the following year. Like, are we getting too overzealous and saying, okay, we are going to force Shador or Cam into a position, into this quarterback, and poof, they're going to be Raiders franchise quarterback? There's no telling. There is no telling.
I mean, if you look at Green Bay had Love sitting for 3 seasons. He was a first-round pick, or 4 seasons, like I say. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he did sit. To have that kind of expectation, to me, I think would not be smart. You know what I mean? To your point, if we gave, depending on here's the expectation, and this is the conversation. They got to have some hard conversations with Mark Davis. You know what I mean? Because expectations can be a mother. You know what I mean? That could get, I mean, you look at, some coaches, I swear they sold something that they couldn't deliver because they had unrealistic expectations. And AP really has to set those expectations about, if we don't have this, we better expect this. You know what I mean? And if we do this, it could take a little bit longer. Now, let's just say we get a running game. We should expect a couple more wins. Now, are we going to the playoffs? I don't know. You get arguably one of the best quarterbacks we've seen come out of college. And what? The Bears got 4 wins. Right. They got as many wins as we do.
And the most how many sacks does he have?
Right. And they look like on paper, they look like they put together a really good team for him. I was like, damn, the Bears is, they're set up that if this kid can ball out, but it didn't happen. You know what I mean? He needs more time. They talked about he's struggling reading defenses, and sometimes that happens with these guys. And it's not, and to me, that's not a knock. That's really not a knock. And if you compare him with like Bo Nix, who looked like he's doing pretty good, Jaden Daniels, which we all knew, we all wanted Jaden Daniels, he's doing his thing, but sometimes people progress a little slower than others, but doesn't mean that their ceiling is any lower. So, I mean, like I say, I think we can find gold in the second round. It just depends on what the expectations are going to be and how we set this thing up. Our O-line could be a player or a scheme away from being decent, because we've seen our line with, to me, worse players, but in a different scheme, look better. So, like I say, to me, it seems that combination that, and that's what I hope AP has learned enough about offense to know what he don't want. You know what I mean? So that when he's looking for a coordinator, he knows what he doesn't want, at least. You know what I mean? He ain't gonna be, he's no offensive guru because he's a defensive guy, but it should have been some learning, a lot of learnings from this season. So I hope I answered your question. Shit.
Big Daddy has some guys he wants to keep. He says, Palomar, Spillane, Hobbs, Sincere. Some of the guys just mentioned. What do you got? Who's your must keeps for next year, guys? Johnny, I'll throw it to you. Who's your I'm with Spillane for sure.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ, he's a dog.
Spillane definitely on top of the list. The other people are a little bit replaceable, but you don't want to lose the chase. So that's out of nowhere. You got a defensive end playing that good. That's a steal. Merrick, keep him. Palomalu, I thought you could upgrade him, but he's been playing crazy.
He has been playing really good, dude. I mean,
he just had like a Seawood record or something on the last game, right?
I think Epps, we can let him go. Epps, who Palomalu replaced, and I think he's going to cost $12 million. And I'm thinking right now, Palomalu knocking balls out. He's knocking guys out of games and shit, and he's out here balling out. I'm thinking, dude, Epps is losing a step. You know what I mean? He's still a decent player, but I don't know if he's a $12 million player. So I think that's one guy I could see gone. I would keep a lot. You know what I mean?
A lot of money in cap space, though. They didn't spend any of it.
We got all cap. Like I said, we had enough cap for fucking Josh Jacobs. Okay, I'm not gonna rant. I'm gonna stop.
There's a lot there, so hopefully there's a plan. Hopefully there's a plan with that bag, right? Let's get to some of these comments here. Yeah. True Raider says, y'all crazy in giving AP another go next year. We need our own franchise QB. We are wasting Crosby's time. Next year, it'll be the same-ish having AP coach for his job in 2006. He got to go. What do you guys think of this comment?
I disagree. I disagree because, like I say, let's go into the beginning before the season even started. We bring in Cliff Kingsbury, who was his guy. Nope, didn't want to pay him. Josh Jacobs, nope, don't want to pay him. And then by game 3 starters on defense, gone. Then we got a busted offense because Getsy's offense is Getsy's offense. I mean, I think AP's biggest mistake, our biggest mistake as a team is not getting Kingsbury when we had him in the building and not resigning Josh Jacobs. AP's fault, instead of pivoting to, he shouldn't have pivoted to who he did. You know what I mean? So that is on him. You know what I mean? But we didn't give him who he wanted. You know what I mean? So I definitely think offenses, if you look at a lot of offenses, quarterback developing, it is not easy. And the whole league is showing that. The whole league is having an issue at developing quarterbacks. AP got stuck with a guy who was a career backup, and he showed us exactly why he was a career backup. We were hyped because, hey, Minshew Mania, we've heard it. But guess what? When we saw it full time, and it doesn't look as good as it does when he's coming off of a bench. And then he had a Getsy system that didn't work that well for him. And then we had a guy who was told, obviously, that this guy was better than him, that because he had the experience in O'Connell, who we probably should have just went with. So to me, those are the mistakes that a rookie head coach made. And okay, like I say, we got a Super Bowl winning coach that got just as bad as a record, who got a #1 draft pick over there in Jacksonville. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. That's the thing. It's like, we want to fire AP. No other coach could have done better, I don't think, with the talent on this team. And if better, like, what, 1 game, 2 game, he makes some questionable decisions. When the 1 game, 2 games, it's not going to move the needle. And the inconsistency is an issue. And I think this is a great segue into that. We've been saying it on this show for years. At least I have. I think it's an organizational problem. There's an inconsistency problem. With the constant turnover in any business, there's never going to be success. And that's always going to be a recipe for disaster. And we can't keep firing everybody after every losing season. AP needs a chance to carry out his vision.
Yep.
1 season isn't going to do it. We got to give him at least 3, in my opinion. Let's hear what Mad Max has to say about inconsistency.
Years of inconsistency, you know what I mean? It's new coaches every other year, and this and this and that, and new teammates. And there's been plenty of times where I'm like, damn, like, this D line is cold. And then I come back and every single one of them's gone. You know what I mean? And it's like, what the, you know what I mean? And then it just, there's on and on and on. There's a lot of things. So it's just like, it's tough, bro. Because I feel for Miles.
What do you make of that, Omar? I mean, you said you had a different spin on his comments. So tell me, what do you make of what Mad Max said?
Well, I'll go from what I read. And everybody said, oh, that's a shot at AP, blah, blah, blah. He's talking about AP. I'm like,
I don't see it like that at all.
No, this is what remember I was saying. I was reading people's comments on this, and they were attacking Max Crosby on this comment he was making. And I was like, how can this be AP's fault? He ain't hired and fired nobody in the last 10 years for the Raiders.
First of all, who's commenting that? How could this be AP's fault? He's one of the coaches Max is talking about, and part of the inconsistency.
Exactly.
And second of all, why are you hating on Max? All he said was the truth.
Right. So
turnover, inconsistency, number of players, coaches, whatever. That's just facts. We're gonna hate on him for that?
It's like everybody works a job. How about every season your job changed and how you did it? They totally changed the whole mechanism of how you did it every year. And that's what these guys go through when they put in a whole new system. You know what I mean? When they put in a new offensive system, you're learning to do your job differently. And if you don't think what does that do? That makes these guys think a lot more while they're playing. And if they're thinking, they're moving slower. You know what I mean? They make mistakes because it isn't, you know what I mean? It isn't something that they have a chance to master. Now, sometimes we do see new systems work out just fine for teams, but a lot of times we see that it doesn't. So I think it's definitely in our best interest to be consistent. We're going to have a lot of changes regardless, because I believe our defensive coordinator, his contract is up. You know what I mean? So if you look at keeping AP, that is pretty close to at least keeping that defense intact. But if you take away AP, we're going to be gone, because Pat Graham is more than likely gone, especially if there's a new head coach. I believe he's going to be gone. I think if we have any chance of getting Pat Graham to resign, I think we need to keep AP. So I think there's a lot that we should do and staying consistent, and it starts with keeping AP. So
Yeah, I agree. Before we get to our caller, we have a caller on the line, and we have someone backstage. Johnny, you want to respond to Mad Max's comments? You're on mute, buddy.
you're muted, dog.
Yeah, I feel like people were taking that like that was it. He's done with the Raiders. He's gone. I don't know how they even came up with that. All he
Right?
did, all he did was say typical stuff that you'd
The
expect.
truth.
Like one day these guys are here, the next they're gone. They're getting rid of players, all these changes. I'm sure he was talking about that D line in 2021, or just in general this year, how he had Wilkins and Kuntz and they both got injured. So you don't know as far as AP goes. I could give him another year, but some of the management calls that happen are ridiculous. But at the same time, he shouldn't have to be in those situations anyway. Like if he had a brain on 4th and 1, we wouldn't have any problems.
Yeah, there was a lot of I thought there was a lot of questionable calls, really, because I think it was kind of like a cover your ass situation in a lot of aspects. But let's get to we have what friend of the show backstage, so let's bring him onto the show. What's good, Rafa?
What's good, everybody? Rap in the building.
Hey, thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir.
I like your background. You got the OG Oakland black hole back there.
The OG Oakland Raider, the black hole. I mean, when it comes to the last game of the season, I mean, this is gonna be so interesting.
Tell us.
Yeah, but about like the situation of Max Crosby, I mean, he's quietly like the face of the franchise, because I understand he was angling for like a new contract, because for the caliber of the defensive edge, he's very underpaid. I mean, for those who didn't know about this, the team has the cap space, so I would have expected to pay him at the offseason, or expecting it will be probably fined. But I know he's very underpaid, but look what he got for another players. Take it for example, TJ Watt's contract. Because Watt is absolutely a game breaker at the best offensive in the NFL. That's a dual contract difference, which is per year. Watt have a bigger signing bonus, has more guarantees. Now, if we got to take more of the Crosby money and guarantee, that makes sense. But it's almost exactly market value that he's worth right now. Because I know exactly, because it really happens out of the situation, because he doesn't want to go anywhere else, because Max Crosby's here to win. He wants the Raiders to care about winning, because it's not hell of a tell like a publicity holds the owner at hostage and it didn't anything. But I know they had to go for that direction, because crazy how fast the perception has really changed, because those players really need to stop what they actually do, because that type of situation is not very helpful. Sure, maybe talking about it during the offseason, while be able to talking about it. I mean, if any, it's gonna be like so much bigger than anything.
Yeah, you guys want to respond to his comments?
Mm-hmm.
So, crazy scenario. What if the Raiders actually trade him?
Yeah, not timing wise. I would definitely not do that. I mean, we got cap space. You know what I mean? The heart of the team. I definitely would not. You know what I mean? Mark Davis has listened to Max Crosby, so hopefully he gets this message correctly through the noise. You know, we know he's got Tom Brady in his ear, Telesco in his ear.
And I'm sure they're having private conversations. Like Mark Davis is not getting his Mad Max information from the Rush. You know what I mean? Like they're having meetings.
But I mean, for Mark Davis talks. I think he talks.
Yes, we riot. I'm with you, Raider Mac. I am with you. Call me. I am with you.
Riot. Riot for AP. I love it.
No, I thought he meant Max. I'm not riding for AP. I'm only riding for Max.
To keep Max.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I thought he was talking about anyway.
But yeah, no, I would definitely not trade Max right now at all, dude. Like, are you kidding me? We got Wilkins to pair up with him. No, we got to see that out.
We need another Wilkins, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, sure.
We need another one.
I mean, to be honest, I don't want to say trade him, because you don't just happen upon guys like this often, because you can never trade. Like I explained it before, never trade unless they're gonna request a trade, and that could be the last option. But no, I mean we've been bad for like a very long time. Now it happens when it comes to terrible. I mean we have a great Hall of Fame caliber player, and we don't damn justice. You gotta realize that we had started. He wants to win, now rebuild. I mean, what direction is gonna the franchise going? I mean, no one knows, but it's gonna push him for the complete rebuild. Now with Tom Telesco, he got very money to spend and top 10 pick this off season. Hopefully, it's gonna deliver a great season to show off the superstar. It's win now. So I don't want to see like traded him, but I would love to see like a little bit extension. But I would love to see Matt Crosby as a Raider. He has a whole tattoo of this nation. But I guarantee that Matt Crosby, he wants to get involved with this direction with the Raiders because his only wish is win the Super Bowl, which is not that very easy, but I can see it.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, Rafa, thanks for joining us. Let everybody know where they can find you, and hopefully you'll join us every week. We appreciate having you always.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. So you can follow me on Capitana Fucho on YouTube and, of course, on X, which is on Twitter. And by the way, I'm going to drop a new live stream before the year's ending, which is going to be straight out of Nation. And I'm going to talk about between Matt Crosby, Derek Carr, and, of course, the review of Raiders versus Saints is on my channel, Capitana Fucho. So I just wanted to tell you, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and have a great 2025 for the Raider Nation.
I love it. Thank you, my friend. We appreciate you.
Hello to y'all.
He mentioned Derek Carr, so I'm just going to throw it out there. The only quarterback to lose to 31 of the 32 teams. He didn't suit up. So I'm going to put an asterisk by it, though, because his team lost. Well, he was on the sideline. So I'm going to put an asterisk there. Said your little bitch ass didn't suit up. I'm going to still say you lost to all the teams. I'm just saying. Since he brought it up. I wasn't going to bring it up, but since he brought it up.
And will he be in the league? Well, we probably will play them again in 2 years. I'm wondering if he'll be in the league in 2 years.
All right, we got a caller. We got my girl on the line. Who this is and what you got on your mind?
Oh, yeah, it's April.
What's good, April? Your boy AOC, he turned up. Oh, nice. Well, let's talk about that. Omar, you were there too. April, Omar, what was the vibe out there?
It was a pretty good vibe. I mean, where I was sitting at, I had a decent mix of Raider fans and Saints fans. And that's what I was going to say. When we mentioned Carr, every Saint fan that I talked to didn't like Carr. I'm sure.
And the Raiders fans like him or not? April, I forget. Are you a Carr fan? I forget how you feel about him.
No, I'm talking about Saints fans. Saints fans.
No, I'm asking April.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can't hear. My God. I was like, damn. Okay. Yeah. April?
Right.
We can't hear her. I know I can't.
You guys can't hear her?
No, can't hear her at all.
Can you hear me?
Can hear you, yes, but can't hear her.
How can you not hear her?
It sounds so muted.
Okay. April, tell him again. Can you hear her? Go for it.
It sounds hella muffled.
That's wild. April, can you come on camera, girl?
Yes.
Can you join us on camera?
Tell her to jump on. Pull up, April.
All right, join us on camera like Squid does.
Phone thing not working.
All right, she's gonna try to join us on camera here. That's wild that you can't hear her, but you can hear me. But anyway,
Yep.
So let's get to some of these chats here because we want to include everybody here. We're going back a little bit to the Mad Max conversation. If he says you trade Max, it has to be 2 first-round picks minimum. I hear you. I'm not on board with this because, again, draft picks are always so sketch. I don't want him to go anywhere. I think he's such a great player, but he does so much more. He's a great locker room guy. He's everything to me. Somebody else in here said we got rid of Mac. I didn't agree with that either. Travis, what's good, Raider Travis? We need to stop trading our top players and retain Bowers. That's the other thing. That's a great point, right? While we're trying to build before we figure out who this franchise quarterback is going to be,
Right.
the key thing is going to be keeping these players.
Yep.
We've got to keep these players. We got to keep Bowers, and we've got to keep Max, and we've got to keep these guys. We can't keep getting rid of people.
Can't build if you're getting rid of your foundation.
Definitely. Good analogy. But let's bring April. What's good, girl?
Okay, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. Like I said, I'm driving back from New Orleans. I ran into Raider Squid, and you know what? I was a little tipsy in the morning. I wasn't paying attention, and I told him, I said, Raider Squid, can we get a picture with you? And he looked at me and he pulled his mask off and he goes, I know you. He's like, for life. And he goes, didn't I meet you on For Life? And I said, Fortnite. And my daughter started busting up and they're like, Mom, they're like, For Life. And I said, oh my God. He goes, you're April. He goes, you got a distinctive voice. And I started busting up. So we took a picture and it was pretty funny. My daughters were so embarrassed. They're like, Mom, you're an idiot.
Oh, no, I love that. Because April, as you know, Monday Night Madness is the show we usually do here on Mondays. April's always calling in. Squid's always calling in.
Yep.
So I'm glad you got a chance to meet out there in the wild.
Hey, I met a lot of people out there. Like I was saying, it was pretty lit out there inside the stadium, outside the stadium. I mean, the walk of the champion march that all Raider Nation does was, I mean, crazy. Gorilla was there. I mean, you name it, they were there, and it was just, it was cool. I like New Orleans.
Omar, did you participate in that?
Nah, man. By the time I woke up in the morning from the Saturday, I jumped off the plane Saturday night. We went and had dinner, and then I started drinking. And it was funny too, because I talked to Squid. We were in the bar, and Squid was like, "Man, I'm gonna go to bed early because he wanted to do the walk." And I'm like, "Yep, yeah." I'm like, conceptually, I was thinking the same thing until the morning hit, and I'm like, "Fuck that walk."
Hey, it happens to the best of us.
But I do want to say, it's rather, God, you know what? I love the Raiders. Just win, baby. I heard you earlier. I was watching the show Spicy, and I heard you say, do we just keep AOC for the year? Absolutely, yes. Give that man a one full season, see what he can do. If he can't bring anything to the table like everybody thinks he can't, okay, then you know what? If you get a quarterback, like you said, Omar, with Jordan Love, he didn't start for 2 years, but you have a coach whose mindset, he knows what he's doing. We just don't have that right now. And I don't think getting rid of AP is the answer either. I think he needs another year. I don't know. I don't know. Everyone's mad that we won. And I'm like, I'm happy. This is just win, baby. This is not just lose, baby. So.
Right. We are another just win, baby.
It's a commitment to excellence. It's all this other stuff. And it's just crazy. I don't care. We won. And we didn't look the best, but I mean, we're like 2 games in a row. Do I think we're going to beat the Chargers? I absolutely think we're going to beat the Chargers.
Yeah, that would be nice. Wouldn't that be nice? I think it'll just be good for the guys. Johnny, you on mute, my friend. I think that would be good for the guys to go out.
Knock them out of the playoffs.
These guys are playing for jobs. These guys are playing for like their pride.
They're playing for jobs. They're playing for pride. They're playing for records. They're playing because they have integrity.
Absolutely. I when people say they're tanking, I'm like, listen, your defense can't be playing close to like great defense and your offense just isn't. It's just we just suck. We just don't have that A and B factor at the moment. It's not tanking. I hate when people say that. I don't like that word. It's like it's a forbidden word in my home. But
like Hollywood Raiders says right here, doesn't that win feel good? Especially must feel good for those of you that traveled out there. You know, I don't want to travel and lose. I don't want to travel and see a losing game.
Right.
Well, we bought the tickets that day. My daughters were like, "Mom, come on, let's go in the game." I'm like, "Okay." You know, the tickets were cheap. Oh, and I have a story real quick. So where I was sitting, the NFL media, the camera girl, she was a camera girl. She was in our section, and she wouldn't flash the camera our way. So I had to go to the bathroom, and I had to come up the tunnel the other side to her, and I said, "Hi." And she looked at me and she goes, "I'm sorry, why are you not filming me?" Because I kept trying to wave her down. And she goes, "Sorry, they won't allow it." I'm like, "Who won't allow it?" I go, "Are you serious?" And she goes, "Yeah, sorry." I was like, oh my God, I was so mad. So what did I do? I went and took a picture with the Saints cheerleaders. And they were looking at me like, oh my God. It was freaking hilarious. I was like, I cannot believe you're not going to film my section where there was a Saints fan next to me and she was so excited. And the people behind me were like, "Oh, there's Raider fans sitting in front of us. Yeah, they're not gonna film over here because they have their Raider gear on."
Yeah, no, that's true. That they actually. I'll tell you a little story. You remember? I don't know if you remember when John Gruden was around. My homie, y'all know my little homie, little Chucky Gruden. He was like 5 or 6 at the time. When Gruden got fired, little Chucky finished out the season as little Chucky Gruden. There was a press, or not, I guess you can't call it a press release. There was a release. Oh yeah, it was a press release because it went to the cameraman and they said, "Do not show this kid on television anymore, or any other Chucky figure."
Wow.
Because he's not on the team anymore. It looks bad for the team. So
wow.
I believe you.
Yeah, it was pretty sad. She wanted to. She looked at me and she shook her head. So I was like, "Wait, nah, that's not a good enough answer because I'm looking cute and my daughters are looking cute." And let me tell you, we were not close either. We were like pretty much on the roof. Okay, we were up there, and so for them to be standing right there, I was like, "Yeah, man." I was on the jumbotron for the Raider game in Dallas, the preseason. I'm like, "Nah, I'm gonna get on camera," but I did not. She would not. And so she was really nice about it, though. I looked at her, I said, "Really?" She goes, "Sorry, girl." She's like, "As much as I'd love to film you," she's like, "they won't allow me to air it." I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that happens. Well, hey, get home safely, girl. Drive home safely. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Absolutely. I'll talk to you guys.
I'm glad you got to see a win, girl.
Okay, go Raiders.
Drive safe, April.
Thank you.
All right, guys, I'm going to let you have the floor here, and we'll cut into some comments, but we've got about 10 minutes left. We've got one game left in the season. This isn't the way anybody thought the season was going to turn out, right? I mean, I know, Omar, you had high hopes. I thought they'd win about 8 games. You know, they might end up with 5.
And everything I said would need to happen definitely did not happen. Opposite happened. Now, has the Chargers clinched a playoff, or do they need this win to clinch? Because to me, that matters. I know I believe they just won, right? Didn't they win this past week? Yeah, they did. So I know they're in the hunt, but definitely, man, I would love for us to play.
As of right now, they're in. Have they actually clinched? The Chargers clinched a playoff berth and improved to 10-6 with a convincing win over the Patriots in Week 17. That was my first Google that came up. Yeah. This says it was posted a day ago. Did they even play the Patriots last week? I don't know. I don't follow them.
Yeah, someone just said in the chat that the Chargers are in. That hella sucks. I wanted us to play spoiler, but anyway, still beat them.
Hey, how about? But there's another way to play spoiler. How about you just go down with the loss? It's better than going into the playoffs with the win. You go into the playoffs with the loss.
Oh yeah.
That does something for momentum. But isn't it like a sad day when all 3 AFC West teams are in the playoffs and we sitting here talking about quote unquote tanking?
Yep. Not a good deal.
This is all of it. We're supposed to be better. We're supposed to at least be better Denver Chargers. Right now, I hate Denver more than all of them because Denver, you should not be here, man. You should not be here. But yeah.
Let's see. Let's finish out some of these comments here. Miklo Velka, what's good? Raiders continue to be mediocre till they get a franchise quarterback. Who knows when that will be? Yeah, who knows when that will be? And again, quote unquote tanking, just lose, baby, and getting Shador or Cam, I don't think is the answer. I don't say. Let me put it this way: we don't know if it's the answer, and it's certainly not going to change it by next season. There's too many other holes. So, Raider Nation, if you're one of those people who want them to just lose, baby, just know, have patience, because that one quarterback that you want is probably not going to be a game changer next season.
And can we talk about Shador real quick? And
let's talk about him.
If it's not true, somebody let me know. I don't have a lot of time to read hella news, so I get my once over and I'm thinking, okay, well, shit. All right. Did he wear blue and red cleats for the Giants?
Yep.
Was that true? I didn't watch the game, but I saw it on social media.
So that, because when I saw that, first thing come to my mind, okay, so all that I want to be a Raider was bullshit. You just thought we had the number one pick.
We just want to be a number one pick. Exactly. Okay, hold on. So can we let's go there then, right? Because there's the circus element, right? So all this stuff about tweeting every time and we're speculating you want to be a Raider and all this. I don't know about the cleats thing. I saw it on social media. I didn't watch the game. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if he wore them. But if it's true or not, that's the circus, right? Do we need a circus? Do we need a distraction? Or do we need someone who can come in and be a good football player and be a good quarterback? And if it is true, I think we really don't need it.
Right. I mean, if you're going to dick ride the first thing that comes along, I'm cool with you.
Oh,
I'm cool with you, dog. I mean, don't say shit. Just say, hey, I believe I need to be the number one pick, because now I'm looking at the thing and you're not. The two top teams, I believe, got quarterbacks already. So now you're going to be the third or fourth pick, man. I mean, just say what you're about. You don't have to start dick riding and stuff, dude, because that ain't cool. It's, like I said, I didn't have no feelings about Sanders up until, I saw the thank you God and all these prayers every time we were losing, like he wanted to be a Raider. Okay, well, if you want to be a Raider, motherfucker, then you should be down to be a Raider at 8, 9, or 10. So I just got to call bullshit on all of that. You know what I mean? If that whole blue cleat thing is true, that's my thesis is all based on that. I'm just like, you didn't, dog.
By this narrative, maybe he doesn't want to be a Raider. Maybe he wants just to be the number one draft pick.
Right, but just say that though. Just say, hey, I think I'm a number one overall pick. Just say that. That's what you want. You don't care what team it is. A lot of guys just say that. I don't care what team I go to, man. I just want. A lot of guys say that, and I respect that because that's just real. But don't start acting like you want to be a Raider and then you really don't. And now all of a sudden, I'm a Giant now. Oh, now I'm a Jaguar. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, what other? He's not playing anymore. I forgot his season's over. So.
Yeah, well, most of them are. Really quick, I know we have a caller right now. Apparently, April's call wasn't coming through, so I'm not going to answer the call because nobody could hear. If you want to appear on camera, though, you can appear on quote-unquote camera. You can turn your camera off and we can just hear your audio. Squid does it all the time. April kind of just did it. So if you want to just go up to the top when we got the next 5 minutes here and appear, but I'm not going to take the call because apparently you can't hear it very well. Let's see. Sharif, what's good? AP beat all 3 AFC West teams last year. This is not the same Raiders team. Oh, he says fire Telesco. That's an interesting take. I don't know. I'm saying fire nobody. We got to give these guys a chance. Give them a chance. Give them a couple years. And Telesco, I mean, he's responsible for Brock Bowers. I'm not here for firing him.
Is Telesco also responsible for letting Kingsbury walk away and didn't want to pay him, or is that someone else? I'm not sure, but does that fall on Telesco?
I'm not sure either. Kat, if you Johnny, do you know?
I don't, but I think Minshew falls on Telesco. I think he did great.
I think AP was kind of I think AP okayed that, I think. I'm not sure, but but we know who AP wanted. Jaden Daniels. We know that. That
Yeah,
was his
but
guy.
they couldn't get Jaden Daniels, and I think
Washington wasn't letting it go.
you could say responsible for Minshew. I mean, that was just to me, those guys have a long-term plan. They have a long-term plan, and that's why they just plugged Minshew in for the year, even though nobody ever wanted to see him touch a football.
Yeah.
Miklo says Sanders has just been trolling us all along. Hollywood Raider, do we think Sanders is a top 5 QB? Like, will he be a top 5 QB in the NFL, or is he a top 5 QB?
I mean, my analysis of Sanders
before you answer that, because we only have a few minutes left, I want to bring Scotty. Why you made it? What's good?
Oh, what's up, Doggy Dog? My brother.
Hey, I'm over here crossing the border back into the United States, trying to be on this.
You got your papers for that? You got your papers for that? We're gonna have to come save your ass.
We'll find out in a few minutes. Hey, so look, let's go back to the top.
Okay.
Win or just tank. Look, I'm never mad at a Raider win. Never gonna be mad at a Raider win. Tanking, that's just ridiculous. How are you gonna sit? I think it was you, Spicy, that nailed it. These guys are on. They're made for themselves. Some of them ain't gonna be here next year. They're creating a resume.
Yeah.
And other guys are trying to get paid. You know, they out there still earning them, can get a raise. You know.
Yep.
So that's ridiculous. But here, you know, and I'm bringing draft picks and all that kind of stuff into the same thing. At the end of the day, I don't want to lose in either. And you can make as much sense of that as you want. It kind of hurt us to win, but it's not that I want to lose. Of course, we want to win.
Okay. You got that Mexican Wi-Fi. The Mexican.
Does everybody have a savings account? Is it breaking up?
A little bit, but we're trying to follow.
Can y'all hear me?
Keep going.
Okay. So at the end of the day, does everybody have a savings account? I mean, you put something away for tomorrow. That's the best. I mean, had we lost, you know, the last 2 games, we're putting a little bit of something away for tomorrow. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. We've already suffered through this whole season doing this, and now we kind of. I don't like that either. You know, I wish we could have something. Now, do we need more than a quarterback? Is Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders the answer? I necessarily think so, but again, I've always gone back to we can't take score if we don't have the ball in our hand to take the shot. So you can look at it a million different ways. Nobody wants to lose. You know, nobody wants to lose. But at the end of the day, we got to have something for tomorrow, too, if the season's really lost. So why not win something? You know, does pick 1 guarantee anything? No, it doesn't. It doesn't guarantee a damn thing. But at the end of the day, we can't score without the ball in our hand. You know, so if we weren't going to go quarterback with that number 1 pick or the 3 pick or the 5, whatever, if we're not, that's fine. If Telesco's going to go again with best player on the board, that's fine. But we can't get that with meaningless wins. So it's not that I want to lose, but I think our future is better secured with more options.
All right. Fair enough. Well, Scotty, thank you for joining us all the way down there in Mexico. We're glad you joined us. I want to thank Johnny from Nation Most Hated for joining us. We are up on our time. Any last thoughts? Remember, though, before we go, if you haven't already, please light that torch, hit that like button. If you haven't, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to our channel. Just hit that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe. Or if you want to support the channel, you can also become a member. But any last thoughts, guys, before we get out of here?
My last thought is, man, just win. There's lots
Just
of
win,
teams.
baby.
There's
I like it, Omar. I think that's the best last thought you can have. Let's just go out on that. So, like Omar said, just win, baby. And you know, Raider Nation, we go out one way and only one way.
Raiders. Let's go.
All right, all right. Well, thank you for joining us. There's Scotty Waddy. He's a little bit frozen there, but this is normally our Monday Night Madness show with my co-host Scotty Waddy. He's down there getting that Mexico reception. But look for us all season. We appreciate all of you. Hope you all had a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year. We'll see you very soon. Good night.